Pickle, this is the UTSA Basketball Coaches Show. The UTSA Basketball Coaches Show, brought to you by UT Health San Antonio, the official healthcare partner of UTSA Athletics. By HEB, here, everything's better. By Chicken and Pickle, home of the UTSA Coaches Shows. By Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. By Credit Human, become a member today. Visit credithuman.com. By North Park Subaru, proud member of the Kalig Auto Group. By Cowboys Air Conditioning, the official HVAC partner of UTSA Athletics. And by Frostbank, we're from here. Now, live from Chicken and Pickle, here's the voice of the Roadrunners, Andy Everett.
Here we go. It's the UTSA Basketball Radio Show. We're live from Chicken and Pickle, talking hoops for the next hour with the coaches. Karen Aston coming up in a second. Austin Claunch a little bit later on. Demara Allen will join us as well. Bob Jai from the men's team will join us as we talk hoops coming up. And we start things off tonight with Karen Aston, and you guys got another couple of big wins last week at home against North Texas and another one on the road at Wichita. Good week last week.
Yeah, it was a great week. Great week. Anytime you can win at this point, or anytime in general, but definitely as season starts to wind down, every game is just at such a premium that, if you can get a win, definitely want to win at home, and any road win is good.
I heard you say to Neil, even though you didn't play that well against Wichita State, you still won, and there are no such thing as a bad win.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not this time of the year.
And we're kind of in that February grind too, aren't we? A lot of young players haven't really played. This is the kind of the end of their season in high school, and now we're kind of getting to a point to where they got to fight through this to get to the tournament.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we actually talked to Demara about that last week, and just the fact that, she played deep, so she went deep into the playoffs, so she has an understanding of how to grind it out. But a lot of freshmen, their seasons are over. A lot of high school players, they're done.
Right.
Today was the first day of the playoffs, and if they didn't make the playoffs, they're done.
Yeah.
And we've got, hopefully, 6 or 7, 8 more weeks to go, so it's a big difference.
The first couple of years with Jordan and the nucleus of this team, you were the one doing the hunting. Nobody knew who you were. Now you're the top dog on that standing. So every game you play, every arena you go in, you're going to get the other team's best.
Well, yeah, I would say that for sure, but I think it's also just that everyone is jockeying for position. I think that we understood what we were getting into at Wichita State, but I think it was human nature maybe to think maybe this will be a little bit easier because of where they are in the standings. But bottom line is they're fighting for something. Nobody wants to play the first day.
Right.
I don't think anybody in the American wants to go to North Texas and play their first game. So they're fighting to get out of that bottom two. So I think that's just as desperate as what we're doing to try to stay where we are. And I'm not sure we had a grasp of how hard they were going to play, how urgent it was going to be for them. And, it's hard to blame the team or the girls because I thought we practiced well before it. I just think that we didn't match their sense of urgency, and we are human.
You got to the free throw line a lot against Wichita State, about almost 3 times as much as they did. How big of a key was that in that Wichita win?
It was big because, we haven't been shooting the ball great, to be honest with you, and just being able to manufacture some points in other areas was big for us.
And you also hit the boards hard, 51 rebounds. I haven't seen that number in a while.
Yeah, it kind of surprised me when I saw it. Part of it's that we're not shooting great, and then the other part is, I think that we knew that was one of the areas that Wichita State was very good, was offensive rebounding, so I think we knew that we were going to have to keep them off the boards to be able to beat them, and, we were pretty good on the boards. Idar is really rebounding well right now.
It's something that we've touched on since the beginning of the year with this show, is that Jordan's not going to do it every single night. She's going to be consistent. She's going to be the leader of this team, great free throw shooter, going to get everybody in the right position, but some nights she's not going to score 25. And you're really getting a lot of effort from everybody else picking up that scoring slack.
Absolutely, and I will say that was one thing I was really proud of our team about on Saturday, was that I didn't exactly think Jordan had her best. And I don't even mean that about scoring. She just didn't have her best. And we definitely depend on her, but I think we found other ways, and other people picked it up, and other people did things that needed to be done, and it's a sign of a good team because it's an 18-game stretch of you can't expect someone to be great every single game. I mean, they're going to have games that they don't have it.
All right. Defensively, something you always preach, and then, of course, the North Texas game. You didn't get a basket or a free throws to take the lead, but you got a great block from Sydney Love and a defensive stand to beat the North Texas last week.
Yeah, I was really proud of how we played against North Texas. I really was. I mean, it wasn't, I think, aesthetically, maybe not the prettiest game to people on the outside looking in, but it was really well done. From a schematic standpoint and a preparation standpoint, like both teams were just so ultra prepared that everything was so hard. And the fact that we were able to gut out that win, and I will say that the people that are here tonight had a huge piece in that. The crowd was fantastic. 1,400 people. You can't discount right now the home court advantage that we're playing with, and I thought it really helped us down the stretch when we made a few plays. The crowd got into it, and we really fed off of it.
Well, the way that our building, there's some faults with it. There's no for sure, but when it gets loud in there, it gets loud. It's kind of like the Alamo Dome. There can be 100 people or 1,000 people or 1,400, and you can get some intimidation.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we'll talk with Damara Allen coming up in just a bit. Also, some more with Karen Aston, Claunch in the back half hour of the program. If you are looking for a new or pre-owned car, the UTSA Basketball Radio Show. It's presented by UT Health San Antonio, the official healthcare partner of UTSA Athletics. See how UT Health San Antonio's brightest minds are making lives better at WeMakeLivesBetter.org. We're joined by Demara Allen, part of UTSA's basketball team. Welcome to the show. Good ovation for you here. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. Well, I was reading a story that Sean wrote about you on the website the other day, and it turns out you want to be a photographer and a videographer. Take us through that interest that you have.
I feel like I had a passion for it in high school. I feel like taking pictures has always sparked my attention, and I just wanted to make people happy and take pictures for them too.
I read something in there where one of your best traits is you do listen to people. You're a good listener. Where'd that come from?
Probably my parents and coach.
Yeah. Talk about that, Karen. What does she listen to you?
Yes, intensely. She listens.
And how did you go about recruiting her and getting her to be a Roadrunner?
Yeah, you know, it's an interesting story just because she definitely was not, I mean, just location, not necessarily somebody that was on our radar. And Jamie she's obviously has Colorado connections, and we were watching a club team and recruiting a point guard on that team. And Jamie went to see them play the spring between her junior and senior year, and came back to me and said, I mean, we were recruiting the point guard, and she came back and was like, I think there's another young lady that you're really going to love. And it didn't take but one time to see her that I knew that she was a perfect fit for us.
What'd you like about her?
She defends, first of all. I mean, at a really high level, and a lot of high school players don't. So I knew that if she had an intention to do that in high school, then she definitely could transition to the system. But just back to like the seriousness, you know. I mean, she you could tell that she was very serious about what she was doing. Very competitive. You know, she was playing a role on that team because it was a really, really good club team. So everybody kind of had their role. So you also knew that she was team-oriented. You know, she knew that I could tell she was about winning. And then after watching her in high school, I mean, you saw all this other stuff that she does too. But yeah, she's a winner.
All right, take us through your basketball career. How'd you get started playing basketball, and how'd you get good quickly enough to be able to go to college and play here?
I got put in basketball when I was in second grade. It's funny, my parents actually put me in basketball because like I was shy. So, and I guess I've always just been good at it. Not always. I didn't start off good, but playing through high school, I feel like my team was always good, and yeah.
What made you want to work at it? Where did you realize, okay, I got some skill here. Now if I work at it, I can turn that into something special?
I feel like I've always had a little bit of skill. Like even since 5th grade, I've always been the best on my team. Not on like anything cocky, but I just really like basketball.
You've won a lot of games in your all that different levels. How important is that when you come to a school and you're around a program that's trying to win and a program that's growing?
I feel like being competitive is important, and just like me having a competitive background, that also carried over into college.
Karen, we talk about recruiting people, but when you recruit players who are from a background of winning, they know what the grind is to be able to get there. You don't just show up, roll the basketball out, and win. They know what the journey's about.
Yeah, when I first started recruiting as an assistant coach, it didn't take me very long at all to realize that, you know, it becomes about you're recruiting against other players and other programs, and you start to notice like what type of teams that are highly competitive, what type of players they have on their team. And I just remember very vividly, Oklahoma was really, really good when I was an assistant coach at Texas, and you just looked across the board at their roster and everybody was a state champion, or everybody had been on a state championship team, and I was like, okay, there's a science to this that I wasn't thinking about. And she fits that. Like she plays for championships all the time, and so it wasn't hard for her to come here and want to be competitive and want to be a part of a team that was striving to do that.
Demara, when you first met Jamie and then Coach Aston here, what was it that said, I gotta come to UTSA? What did you like about that connection?
I liked how involved they were in my recruiting process, and the connection Coach Jamie had for me being from Colorado. I feel like that was also one of the factors that play into it, but just their involvement.
When you came to UTSA, what'd you think? Colorado's a little cooler climate than San Antonio.
I definitely feel like I like San Antonio better because Colorado is very cold, and I like it being warm.
You like it warm. What are you doing in school besides the video and photography stuff? What do you? How do you want to pursue that career? And I know that article mentioned you want to be involved in sports as much as you can in that realm.
I'm supposed to talk to Jake one of these days, but.
You're busy winning basketball games right now, right?
Right, yeah.
All right, take us through your teammates. You've got some teammates on this team that are playing well. Jordan's likely to be the conference player of the year. What's it like being a part of this group?
I just feel like it's a blessing. Every day is a grind, and just being a part of the team, just pushing each other every day is like Jordy. She's also a really good player, so I feel like it's fun playing with other good players.
What do you need to do best next? Where do you improve on your game?
I feel like there's always stuff to improve, but defense, offense, I feel like
The whole thing, huh?
yes, everything.
Right? But that one thing that article said, you like to compete, and not everybody wants to compete. That's a pretty good trait to have. Talk about where you got that from and how you compete on the floor for everything. Was it competitive in your house, I guess, and at home?
Yeah, I feel like I always compete with my brother a lot, and my parents are also competitive. Like when we played video games at the house, it would always be competitive.
Did you play pickup basketball with your brothers and your parents?
No, I actually played with like boys at school, so that also got really competitive.
How important was it to beat them?
I feel like it was really important, and they weren't expecting me to be like as good because I'm a girl.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome. All right, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Best of luck the rest of the way, and continued success here at UTSA.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's Demira Allen with us out here at Chicken and Pickle. America's time is going to make that happen with the Love Your Roadrunner promotion. Go to goutsa.com/promotions and to register to win today. You could be one that's selected at the game that's going to be on February 19th when UTSA takes on South Florida right after Valentine's Day. Visiting with Karen Aston, and the women are at home this week, and you start with East Carolina on Wednesday night. Tell us about the Pirates.
They're playing really, really well. You know, they're talented, and I think that they kind of got off to a rocky start, but they've seemed to have righted the ship, and they have one of the best players in the conference on their team. She's really good. She can really score the ball. She rebounds really well. Just a really tough matchup, and so it should be another fun night in the combo.
Yeah, and then Saturday, not that you've done a lot of scout on Memphis yet, but you played them earlier in the year and won by a couple in Memphis.
Yeah, we did. That was an interesting game, to say the least. So we're familiar, so I think we'll play a little bit better just being familiar with their personnel. They had some new people that we weren't very familiar with, and but yeah, we'll get to them after ECU.
In the midst of this season, what do you focus on the most about preparing for the next game? Are you focused on East Carolina? Are you focused on UTSA? How do you balance out what you're trying to improve on at the same time getting the right scout for the opponent?
Yeah, it's there's not a science to that either, unfortunately. I wish there was. I mean, in particular, this game, we've really had to focus on ECU because we haven't played them. So, you know, we had a lot to go over today and work on. You know, when you've played somebody, you can almost kind of focus on yourself a little bit more. But in the midst of all this, like, I'm still trying to keep people fresh, trying to figure out the ones that are high-minute kids. How can I give them some days to maybe get off their legs a little bit? And then for the ones that are not high-minute players, you want to keep them engaged. You know,
right.
you want to keep them ready for sure. And so we had a really energized practice today where I thought that I continue to think that we work really, really hard in practice. And, you know, I hope that some see the benefits of that maybe aren't getting a lot of minutes, but they're still going to have an opportunity as we roll along here late in the conference play. Is
the February grind that we talked about physical or mental, or is it a combination of both?
I think it's both. I think it's monotonous. You know, it's like, okay, here we go. We got another scout, another prep, and it becomes a little bit monotonous, not so exciting. But it's also the physical is real also, especially with your high-minute kids. I mean, that physical grind and the beating and the banging every night, I mean, that becomes tough also.
When you have players, we talked with Demira, you have Jordan, who's going to potentially be in the WNBA soon. I would think that players like that don't ever want to stop playing basketball. So they're more interested in what's going on, more engaged. And while not that everybody else wants to be that way, but for many of them, some year, their careers are going to end. And it is kind of more of a challenge to get to the finish line.
I think it definitely is if you I mean, I've had teams that it's been tough to keep them engaged. This team has not been hard. It's not been hard at all. It's not hard to practice. It's not hard to prep. I thought our practices leading up to Wichita were good, and I thought practice today was good. This has been a group that's been a joy to coach. They're eager to learn. They're eager to continue to work. They still get in the gym with the assistant coaches, even though some of them don't have high minutes, and that's a great sign for just, you know, where we are.
How much recruiting do you do at this time of the year, trying to keep an eye on what talent's out there? Tournaments are going on now, in state tournaments, and you got to always be thinking about who's the next group of Roadrunners is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, Chantel does a great job of organizing the recruiting, and we know who's playing. I mean, we've got 2 signees playing tonight in the playoffs, and we're excited for them. But it is hard to get out and about right now. I mean, you're prepping. I mean, we're trying to stay as focused as we can, so it's really tough to get out until your season's over.
How big is the portal for you?
I mean, it plays a part for sure. I mean, retention's more important to me. I mean, we're losing 2 players this year. They're 2 valuable players, but if you can keep the rest of them here, and then maybe plug in one, like, right, 1 or 2, like we did this year. I mean, we have some players. I mean, now I'll be back from injury next year, and we have some signees that I'm excited about. So I think, you might just be looking at like maybe 1. other than, as long as you have retention.
Absolutely. All right, well, good luck against East Carolina and Memphis this week, and we'll talk about that next Monday night.
Thank you.
All right. That's Karen Aston with us out here at Chicken and Pickle. Austin Claunch joins us in the next segment. Save time after the game by ordering Taco Cabana online at tacocabana.com or on the MyTC loyalty app. Points or more, Roadrunner fans can score $888. It's the $888 giveaway from Wayne Wright, the official entry attorney of UTSA Athletics. Registered to get your $888 at goutsa.com/promotions. We're joined by Austin Claunch, and two really tough games last week, Austin, for the guys. 1-point losses, last possession games. I know those are the ones that often hurt the most.
Yeah, it's, both games where you've got late leads and the ball and an opportunity to ice it, and just some uncharacteristic mistakes for us. The two things we've done well all day or all year are make free throws and not turn the ball over. And,
right.
We certainly in the ECU game had an opportunity to do that, and even the Tulane game. You got to give both those teams credit. But yeah, certainly a learning experience and something that we got to grow from. It's not going to get any easier. 2 tough road games this week, and we got to be ready to go to battle.
Well, Michael was telling me, our sports information director for basketball, Michael Stambaugh, 19 of the 70 games that have been played so far in the American Conference have been one-possession games. We have 4 of them. Which is really lopsided when you think that there's 13 teams in the league, and we have 2 more that were 2-possession games. So we've been in a lot of games that are right down to the wire.
Yeah, listen, it's certainly frustrating because it's not even that you feel like you're close, you're getting close, you feel like you're there, and you just need to make one more play, one more stop, whatever the case may be.
A little bit closer there. That mic's drifting away. Yeah, that's good.
Is that better? And so you feel like you're getting closer and just need to find a way to finish these games.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Is that something that you learn playing together as this team gets more time together, or should it already be there by this stage of the season?
Well, I think listen, it's there's different kind of mistakes that I think are more just common than others. There's going to be physical mistakes, but I think we've got to continue to understand valuing the ball, not turning it over late game. We have the kind of with our free throw shooting and our ball protection, we should be able to, seal late leads, especially at home. So,
your defense has really been good the last 3 games, I think, and I know that statistically you like the way you played against North Texas, kind of switching things up a little bit, doing a lot of switching on screens.
Yeah.
Has that been something you really like to see the last few games?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We took a little step back, I thought, in the second half against ECU. Now they've got Walker's a bit of a mismatch problem, just with his speed and his size. And, at the end of the day, you still have, you're still able to get the stops you need to. We kind of doing some zone there as well and switched to man. And we did a lot of really good things. Now, it doesn't make you feel any better when you don't come out on the left side and find a way to get a win. But it's funny, I feel like we are still playing our best ball, and we've had almost double-figure leads in 3 straight games now. You
got Scoot back this week, and that was huge to not only give you somebody that's a good scorer, but another body off the bench as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, obviously he plays with a burst and an explosiveness that kind of brings an energy and a different kind of vibe to the game. He's able to get a lot of deflections and change the game on the defensive side of the ball. And it was great to see him throwing a 3. He's been not for any particular reason, just kind of been streaky a little bit, and it was great to see him make one because we needed scoring as well.
He missed 4 or 5 games in that stretch. How tough is that when you're going, then you got to stop to get kind of back in the rhythm, got to get in game shape?
Yeah, no, 100%. Especially, because of Primo being out against Tulane, we started him and kind of had to throw him in the fire a little bit, put him in a really tough spot. But this time of the year with injuries and different things, you got to find a way to piece it together and make it work. And we almost did twice. But that's not what they give you the cigars for, right?
Well,
you gotta find a way to win.
And speaking of Primo, talk about playing with tough. He's been hurt for a while, but he just fights through it.
Yeah, he's gutting it out. He's getting better little by little. I'm hoping that with some more rest and some just treatment this week, by the end of this week, he's going to be back to his normal self.
I saw a note today that one of your assistant coaches, Trevor DeLoach, made a pretty nice award for him. He's part of an Elite 75 luncheon coming up. Future head coaches. You've known Trevor for a while.
He was the first guy I ever hired at Nichols, and so he's an incredible worker. He gets a lot of credit for his recruiting, but he's also been the guy behind our offense this year. And on top of that, there's more that goes into recruiting than just getting players. He's an elite relationship builder, and that's why these guys work for him and play so hard for him. And he's going to be one hell of a head coach.
When you hired him back at Nichols, what happened? What was the light bulb that said, I got to have this guy?
It was the first time I was hiring people, and I spoke to one of my old bosses, and I trusted him and said, hey, do you have anyone in mind? And Trev was the first guy that came to mind, and obviously it was first time I'm on the phone with him. He had me thinking we were going to go undefeated in year one, and he's got a special way about him in that regard that keeps guys pushing and moving forward and motivated. Talk
about his role in like an offensive coordinator, kind of. Is that what you would kind of describe what he does to make your offense go?
Yeah, a little bit. I lean on him a lot in game. Different calls ready. One thing when you're when you're over there as head coach, a lot of the time it can be moving 100 miles an hour, and he does a really good job when I turn to him, and just he has a feel for maybe who needs a shot or where we need to get a shot from, and it's happened a lot recently. I think he's done a really, really good job when there's been some adversity, understanding where we need to get the ball. Just off the top of my head, that call from against the zone, get the outside screen, get Smurf a wide open shot to put us up 4. That's just stuff. He studies the game. He's relentless in his work ethic, and like I said, he's going to be a really good head coach. All
right, coming up next, we're going to visit with Bob Jai, one of UTSA's players, and we'll get to that conversation coming up in the next segment. If you want tickets to UTSA, Basketball Radio Show. And it's at UTSA Boulevard in Vance Jackson, and our show presented by UT Health San Antonio each and every week. We've got another Monday show coming up next week. Bob Jai joins us. We had your brother on last week. Your turn this week. Thanks for coming out. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. They decided to take the red shirt off of you when we were at Troy, and you immediately had some impact in the game. So kind of give us through your freshman season. How do you feel like you've done so far this year?
I feel like I've done pretty good just going in and be able to play as hard as I can, knowing I got other people in the game that can score and like do all the other stuff. So just being able to come in and just, play as hard as I can each and every possession and try to make impact that way.
There was a play in the East Carolina game the other night where they were about to throw an alley-oop dunk, and you got in the way of that, and I think we scored on the other end. So talk about that play and what you saw coming.
I just saw him coming down. He wasn't really looking to score at all. He's just looking straight at the other dude to pass him the ball. And it's just little possessions like that matter to win a game like that. But even though we came up short, but still those type of possessions like that on defense mean a lot.
How difficult, frustrating is it? How do you get past these one-point losses? So, you get beat by 20, you go, okay, we had a bad night. You lose by 1, and you are right there on the cusp. Those are the hardest ones to take sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard because knowing that we was up both of them games. We just got to still stay together each and every game, coming out and playing as hard as we can every possession and not being able to take plays off because, down the stretch of the game, we kind of got lazy towards the end, and that's why they were able to come back and win. But I just feel like we just be able to stay together throughout the whole game. We will be able to come out with them W's.
Austin, talk about Bob and getting the opportunity to play this year, the decision to play him instead of redshirting him after the first couple games, and he certainly made an impact for the Roadrunners.
Yeah, that's certainly when he came initially, the plan was to redshirt him and use it as solely as a development year. It was pretty evident early on in practices the impact he had with whatever team he was on, either as a defensive guy that can switch and be really versatile, but really offensively too. His basketball IQ, his ability to move the ball, and now you're seeing him get comfortable and. Somebody that looked like him drove it 30 feet and scored the other day. I don't know if it was him or not, but it was a really, really good play. So you're starting to see him get really, really confident, and he's plus 18. He seems, the other night against ECU, he's plus 18 on the floor. You're just starting to see him get really, really more comfortable, and like he said, what it takes to make winning plays, and the scoring will come after that. As a college player, you got to figure out, especially as a young guy, how can I impact the game without scoring? And then the longer you're out there, the more you get those opportunities.
Bob, your brother's older than you are, was at SMU, comes here. Why'd you choose to come with him? What was the connection to come to UTSA?
Really just him being able to be a mentor toward me, kind of like as me like coming in as a freshman, and him just like leading me into the right path and showing me like how to like actually be able to become a good basketball player in the college basketball.
Not every freshman comes in. I hope you take this as a compliment, as mature as you seem to be. Talk about that. You're one of the nicest guys I've ever been around in 18 years of doing this, and a lot of fun to be around. I think your teammates kind of resonate that, and you're 18 years old, I guess, or about that. Where'd that come from?
It's really just how I grew up in my household. My parents were very strict on us and taught us respect is the main key in everything that we do, and so that's just where I take everywhere I go, and that's just the type of person all of me and my brothers are.
I'm sure you notice that just a lot as well, Austin, about how mature he is and how he handles himself.
Yeah, and to win at the highest level and build the type of program that we want to build, you can't just have great players. Those great players also need to be great people, and they need to come from great families, and that's what Bob brings. He's not just fun to coach; he's fun to be around. He's a great kid. He's going to bring so much to not just our team, but this athletic department as a whole.
What's the next phase of your game? Where do you want to improve the most as this season continues and into next year?
I'll just say definitely improving my defensive, how would you say it? Just being able to be more active on defense and just getting more comfortable on offense and be able to create for my teammates and others.
What do you think about playing Wichita again? We got to go up there on Wednesday night.
Yeah, just not thinking about the last game, how we beat them by 20, just still coming in with a mindset that we got to come in and do what we always do to get the victory.
Austin, where do you think his upside is? What more can we see from Bob this year and into the future?
I mean, this year you're just going to see him continue to get comfortable in sort of how we're playing right now. I think he doesn't even really know how good he can be, you know. I mean, I think he's just starting to scratch the surface. He wears like size 18, so he might be 6'9" when he comes back.
That'd be all right.
Next year, yeah.
You can't coach size,
so,
right?
No, no doubt. So just both sides of the ball. I mean, he's just really learning, just how we want to play here. Like he said, I think he can be one of the best defenders in the league with his length and his versatility. And he's really starting to shoot it well. Like I said, he shot it well in practice. I was glad he shot that one in the game the other day. It looked good, and he's just getting comfortable. And like I said, he's just scratching the surface.
What are you doing in school? What do you want to be after basketball?
I'm currently in business.
What do you want to own your own business someday? You got any lines of business you want to get into?
Not yet. I haven't thought about it.
Yeah. So got plenty of time to do that. You got at least 4 more years here, so or three and a half anyway. So
yeah.
Good for that. Well, thanks for being out here tonight. Best of luck, continued success. Can't wait to see you do some great things at UTSA.
Thank you.
All right, that's Bob Jai with us out here on the radio show, and we'll come back and wrap up the show with Austin next. It's the UTSA Basketball Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network. Season Roadrunner fans, Roadrunner free throws are going to count for more than a point for every free throw UTSA men's and women's basketball teams score at home. Haven for Hope Shelter for the Homeless will receive a donation thanks to North Park Subaru. It's North Park Subaru's charity stripe benefiting Haven for Hope. All right, we have Wichita State on Wednesday night. With the Roadrunners beat the Shockers here back in January. So, and they just come off of a big win over South Florida this week. So they're playing obviously a little bit better.
Won 2 in a row. They're playing much better basketball. Just like anyone that you'd see from a month ago. They're a different team, just like we're a different team. They present different challenges than some of the other teams we've played. But similar to ECU, they're physical, they're athletic, they're going to get downhill and try to find a way to get to the rim. Then they're going to guard you, and like you just mentioned, Coach Mills is doing a really good job. The last 2 games for them to go on the road and win 2. They're feeling good. It's going to be a really big challenge for us to go up there and in the snow and find a way to get it done.
All these road games are hard. It doesn't matter. You can be first or last. If you're the road team, you're going to have your hands full against that atmosphere and the crowd that they have, especially at Wichita State.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're obviously a very passionate fan base, an incredible program with a lot of prestige. I have a lot of respect for Coach Mills and what they're, and only his second year, what they're building and what they're able to do. It's not easy to win up there. So, we're certainly going to have to be locked in, prepared, and understand what it takes to win.
For most of the season, Primo's been amongst the top 6 or 7 guys in scoring the basketball, hobbling a little bit of late, and Smurf has really shown what he can do offensively. 28 and 21 the last 2 games, and you've needed all of that.
Yeah, no, Smurf is really, really coming into his own. So it's nice. They're a good little 1-2 punch, right next to each other. Ray Horton's had some really big games. Terrion Joseph always capable. So we're a really deep team when it comes to scoring, and when we collectively buy in defensively, that's when we play our best basketball. And again, on the road, you can't always rely on your shooting. I mean, we saw that last time we were on the road. We didn't guard FAU well, and it cost us, dearly. And then we really, really sat down and guarded North Texas, and it helped us win the game. So it's got to start on that end.
What have you seen from Smurf in just, a half a season or 3/4 of a season, how much he's improved since the first week of the season?
Yeah, no, I mean, just confidence and comfort level with playing for us and understanding that we want him to be aggressive. And, he's going to make a few mistakes as aggressive as we want him to be. And, the more you get comfortable playing at that speed and with that sort of, I don't want to say it's not just freedom, but it's, we trust him. We see how hard he works, and he's somebody that, as a young guy in this program, we're really, really excited about his future.
Not that this matters because you have to play really hard, and a lot of these games are on the road, but of the last 7 games, only Memphis is in the top 7 of the league. So you have a good opportunity here. UTSA is in the bottom 7 as well, but it's an opportunity. If you play well, you could have success at home and on the road.
Yeah, we're just focused on Wednesday. I mean, like you just mentioned in our last segment, I think 20 of 70 games have been one possession games. So it doesn't really matter where you are in this league. At this point for us, we want to keep improving, keep getting better, so that when we go to Fort Worth here in a few weeks, we get a shot at it.
What's the key to getting the final stop? Is it something you teach? Is it something you have to experience? Because in both the Tulane game and the East Carolina game, you're either a free throw away, a made basket away, a stop away from winning both of those games.
Yeah, certainly being there a couple of times will help you. I think, as coaches, we got to take accountability and hey, with that Tulane game, what are some things we could have done different that kind of went to that right-hand drive? Maybe some things we could have mixed up in our ball screen coverage. The ECU game, I mean, you're up 4 with 20 seconds left. We've got to be able to execute and ultimately finish the game. Anyone who's in our locker room, though, I don't care if it's a coach or a player, we've all got to keep holding ourselves to a higher standard every single day. Even winning those 2 games, it doesn't necessarily get us to where we want to get to. We've got a lot of work to do, and we've just got to keep moving in that direction.
All right, Austin, thanks as always. We'll do it again next week, and look forward to a long road trip starting tomorrow.
Thanks, Andy.
All right. That's Austin Claunch with us out here at Chicken and Pickle. And the schedule this week, we have a game on Wednesday night. Both teams play Wednesday. The women are at home against East Carolina. Neil Raphael has the call on the Bull, 93.3 beginning at 6. I'll be at the Coke Arena in Wichita as UTSA takes on the Shockers. 6 o'clock airtime and a 6:30 tip from Kansas. Thanks to Shane Carter for producing the show, to our guests, Demara Allen and Bob Chai, and to Austin and to Karen. See you Wednesday night from Wichita, and until then, have a great evening, everyone. It's coming up on 7:59. It is the UTSA Basketball Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network.